welcome back to Drift Diaries number 2. So I've been working on the car a little bit. I've adjusted this arm here to stop this knuckle from popping out, so hopefully that's a little bit better. I've also just taken apart the Meteor gearbox because looking at the diff that was in there, it was really gritty. The car was making a lot of noise. Anyway, I happen to have a spare Meteor gearbox, so I've swapped in the centre diff from that one, and hopefully already sounds quieter. Changed this bar here because the bar was broken in there. I was missing the part. Again, it's all such cobbled together that it needed it. Anyway, today's episode we're going to be looking at this Sora shell. So I got a Sora shell, and really frustratingly my local model shop supplied me with TS Tamiya paint, which is a bit frustrating because when I crashed last time I said how it all flaked off on the front. Well, I started shaking the shell and scratching the shell, and look how bad it is now. So it literally came off. And there's a few little bits I've got to get rid of, so I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to wet sand the inside of the shell, and I've ordered some Tamiya TS paint in the same colour, red mica, which is the same colour as the big Sora, or very close to. And then we're going to repaint that. So I'm going to go through repainting the shell today. Right, so job one with a little bit of water in there and a sanding pad, which is 800 grit. I've just sanded all the inside of the shell to hopefully make the paint stick this time. There we go, all sanded and cleaned up. There's only little bits of paint left where the windows were, because obviously it's stiffer, it won't flex off. So I think it's okay. Ooh, windy. So we'll get that painted up. Next job then is to mask it up. So I'm going to use a plastic bag and some masking tape, wrap the shell around it, and then tape it all up as best I can. Not ideal, I wish it still had the original kit with it, but damn the model shop for supplying me with the TS paint rather than PS paint. Here we go. Alright, so trying to cover the whole area, just got to cover my car up to make sure I don't get any random overspray dust, and then just take it really slow, a little bit at a time. It takes 10 minutes between coats and lots of shaky in. So first job I suppose is to get shaky in. I suppose the other thing to note is that you should probably use some alcohol wipes to take off any greasy residue on the shell. Unfortunately I don't have any. I did have a tiny little bit of washing up liquid in the water when I sanded it down, and I've tried to keep my hands not touching the inside while I taped it as best possible, so fingers crossed it will be okay. Very well, turn around to play the other side. Other side coated for the first coat on. You can then look for issues. It doesn't seem to be bleeding back anywhere or have any sort of pulls where I've got any grease, so that's okay. And top tip, always turn the can upside down and just empty the nozzle so it doesn't dry in the nozzle. Alright, so I'm on to my last couple of coats now. I keep holding it up to the light to look where it's sort of thinnest. And at the minute I've got to need a bit more there, a bit more on the roof, and a bit on the boot sort of thing, and some on the doors really. So I'm trying to sort of just put a little bit more by sort of zoning where I'm spraying into those right areas. It's hard to do on videoing though, but we'll see if I have to go with this one. I'm just going to ignore the camera and spray, so see how I go. I'm trying to do that because I don't really need so much where the windows are, and it seems to have coated in the detail areas faster than the big flat areas. So you want to be sort of 20-30 centimeters away, maybe more like 20, and you want to do nice even coats and try and let go of the spray can off the work, because when you let go of the button, often a spray can will splatter. I'm not saying these ones necessarily do, but spray cans normally do that, and that's what I'm trying to do, to try and get it neat. So I just need a little bit at the ends. I'm going to move it now and do that, and then just keep going until I run out of paint, I think. So I think that's about 5 coats there. So you can just see light still coming through it when I hold it up to the light. Not huge amounts though. I think that looks okay, and especially as the fact there's going to be no light inside the shell, it's going to be face down. So I think I'm going to stop there and save myself probably, I don't know, maybe a coat of paint, so I can do touch-ups and things later. So I'm going to let that dry now and then peel off the tape. Ooh, reveal. Alright, I'll admit it, I'm pretty naughty when it comes to paint, because when it's still half dry I take off the tape, because if you've got a slightly damp edge here, say where the tape's stuck on, it'll peel away easily and leave a nice neat edge. Whereas if you let it dry completely and then peel it away, if it's stuck on a previous layer of something behind it, as it peels away, sometimes it leaves a bit of a rough edge or an untidy edge, or peels back. So I'm cheeky and very careful and sort of trim away the tape and the part. It's up to you, your risk. Anyway, I'll just flip it over carefully and you can see how it looks. It's very red, very, very red, compared to red mica 39 in the Tamiya paint, red mica 60 in the PS paint, because it was TS 39 before, is so much redder, so much brighter, richer red, which is such a shame because my Sora is not that bright red. But hey ho, it is rare red Sora, and that's all I can manage. There we go. I still need to clean up the outside of the shell. It's still got loads of gunk on it from when I sanded back the paint, because I cleaned the inside of the shell but I didn't clean the outside of the shell. You can see it's pretty glossy, looks pretty cool. One red Sora done. Now just to let it fully harden overnight, I guess, and then I'll clean the shell up on the outside and show you some pictures of it on the car. Right, so the shell's dried. You can see some scratches if you look really close up from where I had to sand the shell. Just to be clear, the reason I sanded the shell before I painted it was because I used the wrong paint. I was supplied some Tamiya TS paint rather than PS for the right Lexon style paint. So unfortunately, the paint all flaked off. So I had to sand the shell to get all of the paint off so I could paint it again. I'm actually really pleased. I had some matte black vinyl in, so I decided to vinyl the boots, because if you've seen my big Sora, that has a carbon fibre boot, so it kind of matches my car, because that's what I was trying to do. Unfortunately the red is too bright really to match my car, but it's still pretty close. And I'm also thinking of making a little black boot spoiler, like a factory Sora spoiler, rather than, you know, a huge wing on the back there. It needs different wheels to match my wheels. These are my wheels. So I need something like that. So I think that'll be something to do. And another thing is, I've got another car coming on the way, which is one of the FTX Bonsais, which are, you know, they're cheap and cheerful, but essentially around here I've only got sort of concrete really. So I'm going to be driving concrete with my friends and learning on concrete, and then hopefully if this carries on and the Drift Diaries carry on and all that sort of stuff, I might buy myself a carpet car. There's a couple of places I can go and race a carpet car within an hour, so I think I might go and do that, but we'll see how we go, because I've got to get to a decent standard on road first, because it's pointless wasting my money on a 350 quid car just to smash it up against curves. So cheers, thanks for watching. Hope that was useful for some on maybe how to sew shells, and, you know, just to track the progress of the Drift Diary. So that is a car painted, and hopefully I'll have an unboxing of the FTX Bonsai and video of them both drifting together soon.